Look, even though mortgage rates are getting ridiculously high, home prices are also ridiculously high, there are still good deals out there to be found in the real estate market. You just have to know what to look for. So in this video, I'm going to show you some examples of 2 flats that are for sale in Chicago and give you an idea of how I look at rental properties to see if they're a good deal or not. Also, a quick disclaimer, these are just my opinions on the properties I'm going to show you. So just because I think the properties are a good or bad deal doesn't mean they'll be a good or bad deal to someone else. It all depends on what you're looking for. Also, comment below whether you think these properties are going to be good deals or not, and don't forget to smash that like and that subscribe button so you can be notified when I come out with videos in the future. Before I show you how I analyze properties, let me show you some things that I look out for. First and foremost, I always look to see if the property has positive monthly cash flow or not. Basically, I want to see if the rental income I'm going to get from the building will at least cover or come close to covering the monthly expenses that I'm going to have for the building, such as the mortgage or any estimated repairs. Lately, it's been harder and harder to find a building that has enough rental income to cover all the monthly expenses since home prices have been rising so much, as well as mortgage rates increasing. The last thing I want to do is buy a building and still have to fork over my own money to maintain it, so that's definitely something I look to avoid. The second thing I like to look at in the building are the tenants. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Tenants can make or break a building no matter what condition that building is in. I always like to see how much rent the tenants are paying and how long the tenants have been staying there. The longer a tenant has been staying in the building, the lower the rent tends to be when compared to other average rents in the area. There might be a lot of potential rental income a building might get, as a building might be underperforming due to those tenants. Now, of course, I would be fine with the tenants paying the same rent that they've been paying all these years, but if I'm going to buy the building and those rents aren't enough to cover the expenses that I'm going to have, well, that's another story. Either I'm going to have to rethink about buying that building, or I'm going to have to make some changes with the tenants. It's just simple as that. The third thing you need to pay attention to is the condition of the building. A lot of 2 flats will often have wear and tear because a lot of times the owner isn't living there. They'll be tenants. The tenants, of course, aren't going to keep up the building like an owner would, so the building might not be in tip-top shape. If the condition of the building is good, not only will you be able to charge higher rent, but your repair bills will be lower as well. Now, don't go ruling out a 2 flat just because it isn't in good condition. Actually, a lot of buildings that aren't in good condition can end up being great deals because you can buy them at a cheaper price. You just have to learn how to estimate the cost of repairs, and that really comes with experience. The more buildings you see and the more problems you run into, the better you will be able to estimate how much it'll cost for you to fix it up. To learn how to estimate the cost of repairs, simply call contractors in your area and ask them how much it will cost to fix certain items. That way you can get an idea of what people are charging and the money you will have to spend if you want to get the building up to tip-top shape. Alright, now that we've gotten that out the way, let's take a look at some of these properties to see if these will be a good deal or not. Alright, let's take a look at this 2 flat that's in a more expensive neighborhood in Chicago, the Irving Park neighborhood. And we see we have it for sale for $495,000. So first, let's take a look to see how much rental income this building is pulling in. So this building is fully occupied. Both units have tenants, and each unit is renting out for $1,295. So that means that it's pulling in almost $2,600 a month in rental income. So let's see what our expenses would be with the mortgage calculator. So if you put in the numbers, the price would be $495,000 with the down payment of 5%. The interest rate is 6% now, and yeah, interest rates are that high now. And you put in the property tax for the building, which is around $7,000, and you'll get a total monthly payment of $3,852. Now, as you can see, that rental income from that building isn't nearly enough to even cover the mortgage payment. So even with this building being fully occupied, you would still have to fork over $1,000 of your own money to make this building work at this price. So in my eyes, this isn't a very good deal, at least from a cash flow perspective. There are a few ways that you can look at this building as a good investment, however. Let's say, for instance, you had more money to put down instead of just that 5% down payment. You would be able to lower the mortgage payments to a point where the rental income would actually cover it. Another way this building can be a good investment is if you look at it strictly from an equity standpoint instead of just a monthly cash flow standpoint. So with this building being worth so much, if this building just gained 1 or 2% in appreciation per year, you're gonna gain a lot more money over time versus if you bought a building at half of that price. This is actually how a lot of real estate moguls built their wealth over time. They bought into a building, the building just simply appreciated, which basically means it's worth more over time, and they built their money that way. Let's take a look at this 2-unit property for sale in the Austin neighborhood of Chicago. And you can see this one is shaped more like a single home, not like that 2-flat style that we're used to seeing a lot in Chicago, but this building does have 2 units. So as we look at the pictures, it's in pretty good condition. Yeah, it's in pretty good condition. Everything looks nice. Alright, so we can see the price is $285,000. Now let's look to see how much money this building is pulling in. And we've got 1 unit renting out for $1,325, another unit renting out for $825. So that puts us at right around $2,150 per month for this building. Alright, let's take a look at the mortgage calculator to see what the monthly payment would be. So we put in the home price, which is $285,000, with a 5% down payment and a 6% interest rate with $3,000 in property taxes per year. And our total monthly payment comes out to $2,132, which is pretty much the same as the rental income we would be getting from the building. So this building, I would actually consider looking further into or consider buying this one, especially if this is a building where you want to move in and live in one of the units and rent out the other one. If you would choose a building like this, you would be living there and paying pretty much the same amount as you would be if you were just renting a similar apartment. The only difference is that since you own the building, you actually get all the benefits of building up equity while you're paying off that loan, as well as some tax benefits you get from owning real estate property as well. Compare that to just renting an apartment where you don't get anything. You're pretty much just paying your landlord's taxes. Alright guys, those are examples of properties that I think are a good deal and a property that I think isn't as good of a deal. Remember to comment below and let me know if you think these properties are good deals or not. And also visit my page if you want to learn more about real estate investment.